Kat and Theo, and today we're talking about lamb shank.
Lamb shank.
Which we have in front of us. So I feel like some people are scared of lamb, but they're like doubly scared of lamb shank because they think it's impossible to make. They don't quite understand what it is. So just like start with the basics. What is a shank?
Okay, so essentially we have shanks on us. You know, this is the calf muscle of the lamb. All right. So it's either the front calf or the back calf. In this case, we're using the back calf muscle, so it's a little bit bigger. Don't be afraid of lamb. Yeah. Lamb is delicious. Lamb is part of the #1 protein eaten around the world.
This is like a large cut to take on. So what are you getting with the lamb shank?
All right, well, the lamb shank literally is part of the musculature that does the most work. All right, so you're getting something that's tremendously flavorful, not as super fatty as, say, your tenderloin bits or, you know, your ribeye cuts, but it's something that has a lot more texture, a lot more flavor, and a lot more, I guess, like lamminess to it, you know?
And so for people who are saying like, well, but how do I cook this? It's not like a steak I can throw on my grill or whatever. Like, there's a little bit more that goes into a lamb shank. Yeah, you can't just throw it in a pan.
You definitely just can't throw it in a pan. You have to sear it down. You have to cook it low and slow like we're gonna show you. And it's something, take a day.
You're gonna show us your recipe.
Yep.
What are we making?
We're gonna be making a braised lamb shank that we do here at Kat and Theo with red wine, figs, and then I'll show you how to make our rye berries with mixed root vegetables and lamb bacon. But you can use regular bacon too.
Awesome. So will you take us into the kitchen?
Of course. So now we're back in the kitchen. It's time for us to make our braised lamb shank. So we can either have the fore shanks, which come from the front, or the hind shanks that come from the back. Typically the hind shanks are a little fattier, a little meatier, and so that's the ones that we use right here. These are about a pound or so each. So what's braising? You're braising in liquid for a certain period of time, and you need to make sure that you get a nice crust, a little bit of liquid, and a good amount of aromatics. So what we have here is simple aromatics. We have 1 onion, and then what I do is I bring it over here to the flat top, and I just start charring it up. We also have one stalk of celery. This is a braise. This is going to go on for at least 2 or 3 hours. The vegetables don't need to be cut down into tiny little bits because they're just going to get lost in the whole translation. And then we have our herbs. We have some thyme. We have a little bit of rosemary. We have a big bay leaf. And then we have some Thai long peppercorns right there. A little star anise and 1 clove. So that's all we're going to be putting into the braise, along with a little bit of red wine, salt and pepper, and also chopped figs, chopped dried figs. And now we're gonna season up our shank. Just a little bit of pepper. All right, so now we're gonna add the shanks into the hot pan. Be careful. So the biggest thing is that we have to develop a crust. So essentially what you wanna do, you wanna make sure that that shank gets a good amount of crust on it, so it builds up that seal to retain the juices, but it also adds quite a bit of flavor from the Maillard reaction because you're caramelizing the sugars on the outside of the shank. It will actually take about 8 to 10 minutes per side. All right. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, the outside got caramelized, you know, and then now you just repeat the process on the other side. We take it out after it's been browned, and we put it into a hotel pan is what we call it, right? Watch out. All right, we're gonna add in our vegetables. So we're just taking advantage again of the nice little brown bits that you'll get at the bottom of the cooking process after you sear the lamb. And then now we're gonna get a little bit of garlic going. Your instinct is to add salt right now. You don't wanna do that because again, as much salt as you're gonna be putting into this thing, is going to be what it's going to be reducing down over those 4 or 5 hours that you're going to take to cook this guy right here. And then so you add in the onion, and you want to get everything to a little bit brown. You don't want to add any excess oil in here because it's going to emulsify later on. It's going to be not a great product. And at this point right here, you can figure out you have to use a liquid of some sorts, right? So the liquid that we're choosing is red wine. Red wine is just kind of like that wonderful medium for the lamb. All right, so you want to take the red wine, bop it all in. We added about 1 pint of red wine. Literally what you want to have is enough red wine just to come up to about half of the stuff. Now you want to add your herbs, all right? And then the fig, all right? These are actually Calmerna figs, all right? A little lighter than the Black Mission. You want to add a nice healthy amount because the sweetness is going to help in the braise. So now essentially what we're going to do is bring this up to a boil, all right, and let those flavors start marrying. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the braising liquid, all right, and I'm going to pour it right into the same thing as the lamb shanks right there. All right. So now all you got to do is cover this guy up with foil, and then hopefully you've preheated your oven to about 325, all right? And then you want to just set it to 325 and then throw this guy in the oven. All right, so now we've been cooking it for about 6 hours. It's been about 4.5 hours of braising time. We've taken the braising liquid out and we've allowed it we strained out the braising liquid so it's nice and clear. And then now what we're doing, at the restaurant, we reduce the braising liquid down until a nice thick sauce, all right? But also we serve it with a side of rye berries with house-made bacon. As you can see here, you can serve it just like this, but what you want to do is you want to get this to a nice glaze. That's the biggest trick, is the glaze. So just moisten it with the reduced braising liquid that you have right now, and you want to reduce that liquid down nice and tight. All right, then you can just start taking it over to the plate. There's your rye berries with the roasted root vegetables. However you want to do this. This is how we do it here, but whatever you guys want to do. And then now you get this lamb shank. This is the whole business. And then there's your jus that just reduced down and just moistened it all up. So this is the lamb shank with rye berries and roasted root vegetables that we serve here at Cat and Theo.